Hi guys, it's Heather. If you're new to my channel or you have been here for a while, you will know that I am a Etsy and print-on-demand business owner. I have earned multiple six figures with my Etsy and print-on-demand business. I'm going to put my current statistics here. I have earned over $400,000 in my Etsy and print-on-demand business in the past 2 years, and now I teach others on how they can do that as well. So today I have a really fun video for everyone who is new to Etsy and the world of print on demand. I wanted to make a full tutorial for 2023 on how to create listings, how to integrate your print on demand provider with your Etsy business, and then also how to start an Etsy store from the very beginning. So I'm going to provide you with some tools during this video today on how to get started. I'm going to give you that walkthrough tutorial on how to go from A to Z. Also, I did want to mention I have a free Etsy and print on demand crash course in the link in the description below. So that crash course goes over in finer detail more of what you need to know as far as starting an Etsy and print on demand business in 2023. There are little things that you may come across that you might be like, okay, Heather didn't mention in this tutorial, but a lot of the other things to explain with print on demand businesses is explained in that crash course. So I would watch this video in full, then go to that crash course and see what questions that you can get answered in that crash course alone. I have a whole hour's worth of information in there as well. That's really great information for starting your Etsy and print on demand business. So during this tutorial, we are using Printify to create our print-on-demand businesses and integrate to our Etsy stores. This is one of my favorite print-on-demand companies to use. They just have such high quality and their production fees are just so low that you can have high profit margins for selling things like t-shirts to sweatshirts to mugs to blankets to car seat covers. There's so many different items that you can create with print-on-demand. And for those who are new to print-on-demand and don't know what the print-on-demand business model is. Print-on-demand is a drop shipping business model where when a customer finds your item on Etsy, they purchase the item, that order goes to your print-on-demand company. They will print, pack, and ship the item for you, and they will even send out the tracking information to your customer without you having to do the middle part of the process. Your part of the process is creating the listing, creating the design for that product. You get to choose the product, and once an item is shipped, let's say there might be a defect. Maybe your print-on-demand provider accidentally printed the wrong design on the t-shirt, or maybe there is a mark on the sweatshirt, anything like that. Your job in the process is to be the customer service person as well. So if anything happens, you will kind of be the middleman between you and your print-on-demand provider. So if there is a defect, you get the full image of the problem, send it to your print-on-demand provider. They usually will replace the product, at least it's within 30 days. If there is a missing package at all, that's another part of your process that you would do in that scenario. But these are just examples of your customer service roles as a print-on-demand business owner, which it really isn't that much, and your print-on-demand company really does take care of you. I do want to say that this is one of the reasons why I've always loved Printify, is because their customer service is just superior to a lot of other print-on-demand companies I've used in the past. They really do take care of you as a business owner, and as you are the middleman, where if an item is missing, you can contact Printify, and generally they'll respond within 24 hours to tell you where the package may be. And then also, if it is missing, they will replace the item for you and send a new item to the customer. You do not get double charged for that because Printify, again, takes care of you. So with that being said, that's one of the main reasons why we are using Printify today. Coming from a print-on-demand expert and coach, I've coached multiple students to 5 to 6 figures now in their Etsy and print-on-demand businesses. So with that being said, I want you to start off with the correct print-on-demand company, and that's why we're going to use Printify. By the way, when you sign up for Printify, I'm going to have a link in the description below, but when you do sign up, please use code HEATHER30 in all capitalized letters to get 30 days of Printify Premium. This is going to save you hundreds to thousands in a year's time frame. If you get thousands of orders coming through, Printify Premium gives you a discounted price on all production fees, and it's just a really great deal. I personally do the monthly subscription to Printify Premium, and I have not gone back since because, again, it saved me thousands of dollars and given me thousands of dollars in profit in my print-on-demand business. So besides that, I hope that you are on the Printify train now, and those are some reasons why I use them. I know I've had comments asking me, hey Heather, do you use this or that? And I prefer Printify for those reasons. Besides that, we're going to hop onto my computer and we're going to get straight into it. So now that we're on my laptop, I did want to say that I'm going to be showing you setup guides on my Etsy and Print on Demand master course that I call the Print on Demand Academy 2.0 because this is my second version of this course. It's my complete A to Z on how to set up an Etsy shop and scale it to 5 to 6 figures. I give all of my strategies, all of my secret sauce that you would like to call it in that course itself. So you guys are going to get a sneak peek of it today. I have set up 3 different Etsy and Print on Demand stores now, and I think I'm hitting the max in the Etsy algorithm because I don't know when you get flagged for setting up stores. I've done it for tutorials and videos. So instead of resetting up a shop, I'm just going to go over and kind of give you the commentary, the talk through on how I've set up my shop in the past and how you guys can do that too during this video today. Alrighty guys, so the first part of the process is either opening up a Etsy account or using your already pre-made account on Etsy. So if you have a personal account, it's up to you if you'd like to create this into a business account. I know for me personally, I like to separate my personal purchases from my business. So I created a new account for mine. So as you can see, you'll click on your account icon, then you'll click on sell on Etsy, and then we will get started from there. We're just going to fill this all out together. We're going to go to Let's Go, and you'll fill in what brings you to Etsy. Everyone has their own goals. Then you will fill in whatever you would like here on if there's anything you'd like help with. I know Etsy sends their own types of email marketing, so you'll get some information from Etsy there as well. So our next area is shop preferences. So this is where you will fill out your shop language, your shop country, your shop currency, and all of the above, whatever fits for where you're creating your shop. So the next thing you will do is name your shop. This is the next page after you click next. So you can create your name whatever you would like. You can change this name later. You do not have to stick with this name. So you'll save and continue, and then we are going to create our first listing together. So this is what I call the throwaway listing. Generally, I upload a digital file I created on Canva, such as your SVG here. I'll add it into the photos. I'll make it a digital file, and then we will actually delete this listing at the very end of this training because you do want to upload your first print-on-demand listing. You don't want to keep this old listing because if it does sell, people might be kind of like, okay, what did I buy? And sometimes that can trigger the Etsy algorithm if you don't do it correctly and someone buys it. So just be careful here. But as you can see, I'm just uploading your design here, SVG. Again, this is going to be our throwaway listing at the very end of this. So as you scroll down, we are going to be doing manual and digital for this listing. We're going to scroll down all the way. We can put any price you want in here. I try to do a higher price so people don't buy it just in case someone would buy it when we first upload it on Etsy. Then we will save and continue, but of course it's not going to let me continue because I have to fill in the description, so I'm going to fill that in. And then we do have to put in what the type of item is as well, so you will need to put in if it's scrapbooking, collage, anything like that. Then you will be able to upload that first listing. Congrats, we have our first listing now. We're going to save and continue. And then we're going to go into how we'll get paid. So this is the fun part. This is a part a lot of people love to talk about. So you want to put in all of your banking information. Generally speaking, you will register as an individual, which is considered a sole proprietorship. So if you have no registration in your state, that is completely okay. At the end of the year for taxes, you usually register as sole proprietorship. If you have a business, this is where you'll put in your business information as well. But I'll meet you guys on the next few pages because that is, of course, private data. So I connected everything on my Chase account. You'll get this confirmation once you're done. So you can select if you want to get paid once per week, every day, every 2 weeks, or every other weeks, or even once a month. I personally like to do every single week on a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, what have you. Generally speaking, if there's a holiday and maybe the holiday is on a Monday or Friday, they will hold your funds until the end of the holiday weekend. So that's something to consider as well. I pay off my credit card every single week on the day that I'm paid. I don't do it every day because usually every day you can have days of fluctuation where you have high order volumes, then the next day low order volumes, and then the day that you have the lower order volumes, you may get less funds. So again, this is a part that we won't fill out together. You're going to set up your billing, all that you need in this area here. So at this point, you do want to keep your shop safe. I've heard of a lot of people getting hacked, so make sure you have a second authentication method such as SMS or maybe the Authenticator app. You can do either or, and then they will give you a sheet of a bunch of numbers. You can screenshot that and then take that or save it into your computer. So besides that, guys, that's how you set up your Etsy shop. Now, the second thing you want to do after setting up your Etsy shop is we are going to set up our Printify account and integrate it with Etsy. Then we're going to create our first listing together and upload that onto our shop. After we create that first listing, you're going to delete that your design here SVG or whatever template you uploaded as that digital file listing. You're going to delete that immediately after you upload that first print-on-demand listing. That's why you want to do this all in one day. You don't want to set up a shop, wait a few days, then upload your first listing. You do want to upload that first listing the first day you set up your shop. So we're going to hop to Printify here next. So now we're on Printify's website. Again, you can click on the link down below to get where I am here. We're going to create an account together on Printify, and we are going to integrate our Etsy store to our Printify store. This is really easy. It only takes a minute or two to really do. So first of all, we're going to click on Start Selling here. And once we hit Start Selling, you will come across a page like this. I didn't show it because it was private data in the first part, but you're going to put in what your main objective is. And this is just to tell Printify exactly what you're looking to do. Also, I know Printify sends newsletters per week, which really help you as a new business owner. So this can help indicate to Printify what newsletters and things they are sending. And then it will just ask, how did you find out about Printify? If you could name drop me, Heather Studio, that would be great. Besides that, that is it as far as that goes. So now we're going to connect our account. We're going to scroll down and there are a whole bunch of websites you can connect, not just Etsy. You could do Shopify, Squarespace, eBay, Wix, WooCommerce, even API integrations. So if you have your own website, there's a way to do it with API, but we are just going to connect. It will bring you to a page that looks like this, and then you're going to click on Grant Access, and that is it for setting up your Printify shop to Etsy and integrating the two. So besides that, we're going to go and edit some settings on Printify before we are done here, just so that you have the correct settings for your store when you first get started. So once you're in your Printify account, I want you to go to the top right corner, and we are going to fill out some things together. So that's the corner where we will start at. We're going to click on Manage Stores. Then we're going to click on the gear icon and type in our store name. So I'm just going to put your brand name here. Again, we're going to save it. Then we'll come back to the same page we were before. Again, we're going to go to Manage My Stores, hit the gear icon, and we're going to go to our ship from address. So what's really important about the ship from address is it starts with Printify default, and Printify default, it is good because it shows what warehouse and their address is. But if, let's say, you have a return or exchange item, the customer sometimes may send to that warehouse, and Printify does donate, or they may email you and ask to maybe reship to that customer again, but that can cause you to pay for that reshipment fee. So I suggest putting in custom address. So wherever you live, just in case the customer wants to return the item, I would fill this portion in to make sure that they know where you are and they can return it there, just in case you grant a return and they ship it to your print-on-demand provider's website. I've had that happen to me, so just a word of caution. Besides that, our next area that we're looking at is order order routing. So this is really important and one thing that I love talking about when you're first starting a store. So order routing, what it does is if an item, let's say, goes out of stock, then your print-on-demand provider can automatically reroute it to a different print-on-demand provider that sells the same t-shirt or sweatshirt that went out of stock. So with that being said, I'm more of an advanced print-on-demand store owner now, so I do not enable order routing, but I know some people who just rather have Printify do it for them. It's up to you what your preference is. If you're a beginner, I would enable order routing. Another thing to note as well is with order routing, there is an upcharge sometimes. If one print-on-demand provider sells a Bell on Canvas 3001 for $10 and another print-on-demand provider sells it for $12, you have to pay $2 extra for the order routing if in case the $10 one went out of stock. So what I would suggest is if you are new, you can enable that order routing and there is a maximum. So let's say you're only comfortable with it being over $2, then you can put that max in. So if you click enable order routing and you click on the drop down where the setup area is, that is exactly where you can add in if you only want maximum additional cost of $2, and that will signal to the automatic rerouting system that, hey, if I have to spend over $2, I am not comfortable with that. And generally speaking, you'll get an email from Printify stating, hey, automatic rerouting did not find a match over this price or something along those lines. So that's why it's important to check your back end, especially around high order volume periods of time like Q4 or around Christmas time. As we scroll down the page, there is an order approval area. Now, order approval is, again, something that's going to be up to you on how you want to set this up. For me personally, I do automatically in 1 hour, and I have a no cancellation policy on my Etsy store. This is up to you, but again, what I would recommend for anyone who's new is to do automatically in 1 hour and no cancellation policy on their Etsy store. This is going to, first of all, get you orders pushed through on the back end with Printify as fast as you can. And then second of all, with the orders being pushed through, then if you have that no cancellation policy and someone asks for a cancellation, you can at least tell them, hey, my Etsy store policies are this. Unfortunately, you did already order and I am unable to cancel at this point. So that's something I would suggest, but I know of people who like to manually push every single order, maybe at the end of their workday, just in case there is a cancellation request. Again, it's up to you. For order view settings, I do show all orders. I do not only do it fulfilled by Printify. One of the reasons why is because I'm connected to multiple print-on-demand providers, not just Printify. So if something incorrectly routes and maybe a Printify order doesn't show up or a different order from a different print-on-demand provider shows up, that's something that I try to just look at everything and make sure I'm on top of. So tracking notifications settings, this is up to you. I usually put I don't need tracking emails, but I know some people, again, who like to be hands-on and see every single tracking information out there for every single order. So at the very end, this is automatically send delayed orders to production. I would have that checked on, send orders to production automatically. Again, just in case something's out of stock, you want it pushed through as soon as possible if it is out of stock and it comes back in stock. So at the very end, for email preferences, when you are a new print-on-demand business owner, this is probably good to have ticked on. I had to tick it off because I was getting hundreds of orders a week, and that meant hundreds of emails a week as well. So just a pro tip, as you scale up your Etsy and print-on-demand businesses, I would uncheck that box. I remember when I first started getting hundreds of emails a week, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I turn this off? It's just in this page. So hopefully that helps you guys in your automatic push settings. So now we're going to create a listing together, and the 3 tabs that I want you to have open is Printify, Etsy, and also Canva. So what I do want to go over first is I would highly recommend downloading the Chrome extension called Everbee. So you can add this to your Chrome extensions, and it's really going to help us in the research process before we even create our listings. So one thing that I want you to really get in the habit of as your new Etsy and print-on-demand business owner is to, first of all, validate your market and do your research prior to even creating a listing. If you're kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall, you're not going to get many sales in return, because if you're just creating listings, not really knowing if there is a demand for the niche that you're creating for, or maybe a design you're creating for, you really need to go with the trends that are on Etsy and kind of keep with what a lot of other people are doing. So lucky for you, if you're watching this video, we're going to create a new listing together using Everbee, Printify, and then also just Etsy and Canva. So I have discount links, I have free trials, all in the links in the description below. I recommend all of these softwares. This is what I've used since the beginning of my Etsy journey. These just have really propelled my business forward, and I really hope it does for you as well in 2023. So with that being said, what I wanted to start with is just in Etsy. So one niche that sells all year round is just dog mom types of gifts. So I wanted to go into this niche, create a design for this specific niche together. So to start off, I'm going to do dog, and then we're going to see what Everbee kind of populates. So Everbee has a search analytics feature. As you can see, there's a little bee near these little areas here. It says dog collars have monthly searches of 4,920. Dog tags is 3,300. Dogs is just 149,600. Again, dog is just crazy amounts of searches per month. And bandanas, 1,000 plus searches. So as you can see, dog collars, dog bandanas, even dog sweaters, those are really trending. Over 1,000 monthly searches is a good indicator that there is high demand for these specific niches. What I wanted to design for is sweatshirts in this video. That's something that I have sold the most in my own Etsy and print-on-demand business. So I like doing design videos over sweatshirts, but as you guys can see, dog bandanas, dog sweatshirts, dog collars, those really sell too. And with Printify, you can create dog collars. I know they have dog bandanas as well. So those are always options for you if you're looking to kind of go outside of the normal of what most people are selling on Etsy, which is usually the dog sweatshirts, dog t-shirts. So alrighty guys, so I looked up dog mom sweatshirts, and with Everbee, I'm going to go to product analytics, and then we're going to pull the data and see what's really selling, what might not be selling, and kind of base what we're going to design today a little bit off of what's selling. And we're not going to copy anyone directly. That is definitely what I don't want to teach on my platform and being on YouTube. We are never copying anyone directly. We're just pulling some inspiration and seeing what's selling for other people and what could potentially sell for us. So I'm going to click on this one, which I see is just cute little dogs and then the dogs' names on the side pocket area. So that seems to be a popular one. This other one seems very popular as well. So this is just dog ears. It's very cute. It's a bestseller. It has the badge, and they just have a cursive shoelace type of font. So this sweatshirt by itself is earning this print-on-demand business owner over $20,000 in revenue per month. So that is a really good indicator to us that that's a popular one. This one is $10,000 in revenue per month. It's just dog ears and just the name. So these are personalization sweaters. So I'm going to click on, this is the same one I clicked on earlier. Great job. I did great on selecting the same one twice. So I'm going to look at this one that's around over 4,000. So this one's just Doodle Mama, and that's a bestseller, and that one's not personalization. It seems like the seller is using Printify, because generally a lot of the sellers that use Printify can achieve these lower prices. Usually with Printify, sweatshirts are about $15 per sweatshirt that you sell for production fees. So these sellers are making over $15 of profit per sweatshirt that they sell. That is good indicators to us. So I'm going to flip over to Canva, and we're going to create our first design together. So I have Canva Pro. I have a 30-day trial link in the description below. This is what I've used the past 2 years to design a lot of the designs that have made me over $10,000 in multiple designs. So one of the reasons why I recommend Canva over other design softwares is, first of all, it's print on demand friendly. So all of the fonts that you see in Canva, you can use for a print on demand commercial use license. A lot of licenses nowadays will tell you if you can use some type of graphics or fonts for your print on demand business, and surprisingly, a lot of those do not allow print on demand usage licensing. Canva is one of the design softwares that does. That's one of the main reasons why I use it. The second reason is it does have plenty of graphics we have at our fingertips as well. And on top of that, there's other design softwares I've used where I'm spending 3 to 5 times the amount that Canva charges. Canva is about $100 per year, and I've used Adobe and I've spent over $500. I think I spent maybe $900 last year on Adobe for just a yearly subscription. Adobe's nice. It is the creme de la creme of softwares, but Canva, you can do a lot of the stuff that you can do on Adobe. There's things on Adobe that you of course can't do on Canva, but for basics in design, Canva is just my go-to. So besides that, we're going to get into designing our first design. So when you are creating a design for your first print-on-demand product, we want high resolution. So anything that's high resolution is over 2000 by 2000 pixels. When you're creating a design, I personally like doing 5000 by 5000. That gives me and my print-on-demand provider the highest resolution that we can really get with our print-on-demand designs without going overboard on the megabytes and how large the file size is. So I'm going to type in 5000 by 5000 here. I'm going to click on create new design. Then what I want to do first is I am going to add in a heading. So this add in a heading feature is where you will insert any types of fonts that you want to add in. And as you can see, Canva has their already done for you types of font templates and styles. You can click on any of these to bring them in. And then if you click on the corner and hold it to drag up and down, you can change the size. So I'm going to just delete that one. I'm going to bring this add a heading to the center. So as you can see, these purple lines intersect. Now that shows that we are horizontally and vertically aligned in the center of our canvas. So that is essentially what we want to stick in. We always want to make sure that we are horizontally and vertically aligned for our whole design. However, if you have multiple lines of your design, let's say you do 2 add a headings, you can select all by clicking and dragging, and that will select both together. And then if you align here, you will see that both lines of text align horizontally and vertically. So besides that, I'm going to delete this here. And what I wanted to do for this design is I wanted to make something like the Doodle Mama sweatshirt just in our own way. I feel like this, we know, is a bestseller. So the doodle types of dogs seem very popular right now. I live in Chicago, and when I'm walking down the street, I almost always see a doodle dog. So I think those are just a very popular dog type now, which makes sense that this is a bestseller. It's high in demand because there's a lot of doodle moms as far as I've seen in my area. So I think we're going to do a doodle mom type of design today. So when I click into the design, I'm going to click this drop down and we are going to select a font. I think I'm going for more of a dainty type of Doodle Mom sweatshirt. So I like the font Halimum because it's a very cute and shoelace type of text, as you can see. So I'm really happy with this. I'm going to go to my elements and I'm going to put in doodle, and I'm realizing now that a doodle is probably not going to show here the same. I feel like one of the doodle dogs looks like this, so maybe that would be good. For some reason, it doesn't look like a doodle to me, but I don't know. I guess it is. This is kind of Inception because it technically is a doodle of a doodle dog. Oh, God. I need to stop. One thing I did want to note is that if you do use any graphics on Canva, you do need to use 2 or more elements together. So 2 or more elements would be both of these dogs together. That would qualify for the print-on-demand commercial usage license. If I just had Doodle Mom and I took out this dog, that's 2 or more, that's fine. So that's just an example of what I mean when I'm talking 2 or more elements. So I'm just going to look down the line and see if there's any other, maybe if I put in poodle. I feel like poodles don't look too, oh yeah, they look a lot different. Okay. I feel like I'm not educated enough on doodles. I don't like that graphic as much. Oh, here we go. They have this area, so after you click on a graphic, it drops down to magic recommendations, and I really like it because they always come up with really nice types of graphics that are along the lines of what I'm looking for. So I almost do like these 2 graphics together, though, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a little bit in between on what to do. So I think I'm gonna duplicate the page and we're gonna keep what we had above, but I'm gonna delete these. By the way, I might have done that way too quick, so I'm gonna go back up. So when you click on this duplicate page button, you can duplicate exactly what you had above. I like to do this when I'm in between on my design styles, and usually I'm in between quite a bit. So I'm gonna click on this one and see how this looks. I do like that, but this one is cuter. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. There is also this one. So I really like this. I think it's so cute. It's so adorable. I think I'm just going to do this. I really don't think we really need too crazy of stuff here. So I do like these 2 as well. I think this is super cute. Maybe someone has 2 dogs. So one effect that I like to do is I like to thicken the font a little bit. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click on splice. I'm going to take the thickness down a little bit. I'm going to take off the offset, and then I'm going to make the color black, and then I'm gonna take the thickness up a little bit so it matches how thick the lines of the doodle dog is. You know, I had no intention of making doodle dog t-shirts today or sweatshirts, and now I'm regretting it because saying doodle twice is very redundant, and I'm realizing that now. So guys, that's about it for both of our designs. I thought taking the capital D off would look much cuter and kind of more simple for this one. But this one, I think the thickness of it, and it's a little bit different. I think both really are nice. With that being said, I'm going to click on share, and this is how you want to download any type of design you create. So when you click on share at the top, you're going to click on download here. Then it's going to give you all the different file types. You always want to do PNG. I've heard about people who like doing SVG. Personally, I like PNG better. It's best for illustrations. It's best for print-on-demand designs, as far as I've heard. And this area here is for, let's say that you started with 2000 by 2000, you can bring it up or you can bring it down. I like 5000 by 5000, so we'll keep that there. The next most important thing is to check mark this transparent background. This will delete the white behind the design. So after that, you can select your pages. So if you only want to download one of these designs, I can deselect one, or I could reselect to download all. So after that, we can download, and that will save it so we can upload it on our print on demand provider's website. So I'm going to open up the zip file, and in the other screen, I am going to bring those over. So now I'm going to close out of Canva. I'm going to bring over Printify, and we are going to go to Printify's catalog. Printify has thousands of different items that you can create on their website. They have so many best-selling items that really do sell. You can get high profit margins off these items. Again, I can't recommend Printify enough, but we're going to do the same types of sweatshirts that the other dog mom shirts did. So there is the Gildan 18,000 crew neck sweatshirt. This is a sweatshirt that is most used across many of the top Etsy and print on demand stores you'll see. So I'm going to click into this, and there is hundreds of print providers that Printify has at your fingertips when you sign up with Printify. And this is one of the pluses of Printify is if, let's say, something goes out of stock, like the white Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt goes out of stock, guess what? You have a second print-on-demand provider you can reroute your order to. So I could use Swift POD instead of Monster Digital or vice versa. So one of my favorite print providers on their website is Monster Digital. Swift POD is incredible as well. I have used them since the beginning of my Etsy and print-on-demand business, but these are the two that I generally stick to just because I am based in the US. I know other countries have preferred Duplium for Canada. I know Print Clever is incredible for the UK. So you can see all of their ratings here. What's really neat about Printify's print providers is they keep an updated record on all of these print-on-demand providers. So we could see Monster Digital is #1 today, but that could change tomorrow or next week or next month. Swift POD can come above them, and usually they're rating these print-on-demand providers by the amount of defects they have, by the amount of days it takes to produce an item. And as you can see, Monster Digital and Swift POD are pretty hand in hand and neck to neck in this competition. So as we could see today, Monster Digital, Swift POD is really good. So I'm just going to start designing with Monster Digital. I'm going to click on Start Designing here. I will bring over one of our designs. And then I am just going to center it. So this is something a lot of people ask me quite often is how should you put a design on Mockup when there's so much extra space around this area? I will say that Monster Digital has one of the largest dimensions for printing. So that's where it gets a little bit confusing. But what I like to do is the way I download my item on Canva is the way that I upload it on to my print-on-demand provider's mockup generator. So this is a mockup generator. It shows us how the design will look on a printed mockup. So if I click on preview here, you could see that it's Doodle Mom. We have the doodle in the middle, and that is perfectly fine to me. However, let's say you want to go a little bit larger. Now, this wouldn't be bad either, but personally, again, I like to stick to the same size that I downloaded my design. So I'm going to click on the design here, and then I'm just going to take it back down to relatively the same size we had it. Now, this is the other thing with placing your design on a mock-up. What you want to make sure that you're doing is that the top line of the design, so the absolute top part of the design, you want to almost draw an invisible line to where the tops of the D's are, the L, and you want that 1.5 to 2 inches below where the collar line is. So the collar line is right here. You want it 1.5 to 2 inches below that. And I know it's kind of a guessing game with your eyes. This is an eyeballing type of process I suggest when you are doing this type of design placement. But as you can see, I'm about 2 inches below where the collar line is. I think that is perfect. I might move it up just a touch. I know some people who put it all the way up to that line. Sometimes that works out. But if, let's say, I only had Doodle Mom here and I didn't have this graphic, that would look really, really strange on the finalized mock-up image. But since I have multiple lines on this, so it goes from Doodle Mom all the way to the bottom of this dog, that's when I would suggest going up a little bit. You don't want your design all the way down here, but you don't want it all the way squished up at the very top either, especially if it's just one line of text, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to bring it down just a touch. Another way that you can make sure your design's in the right place is by where the line of the armpit is on the mock-up. So as you can see, if we drew a line from this armpit to this armpit, the middle of our design is smack dab in the center. And that's another marker that you want to keep in mind when you are placing your design or text on the mock-up. So besides that, that is how we would place this specific type of design. And if we preview it here, you can see that this is perfectly placed in the center. It's not too high, it's not too low, and it's just a very dainty and cute type of Doodle Mom sweatshirt. So you can also see these mock-ups that Printify provides. I think these are really nice mock-ups that they've done. I would suggest always purchasing on Etsy for mock-ups too. They have plenty of different cute types of mock-ups on Etsy that we're going to look over in just a moment here as well. So besides that, this is perfect perfect for what we're doing, I'm going to save the product. So the next part of this process is you do want to title this sweatshirt. Now, I do have a SEO updated tutorial. I would highly recommend looking at that tutorial. I'm going to link it in the video below because we aren't going over SEO today. We're just trying to get our first listing up, delete the old listing, and then I would highly recommend watching that next video to get a updated tutorial on how to do your SEO, your tags, and your descriptions. Besides that, I'm just going to put Doodle Mom crew neck sweatshirt. So when you are pricing your items, you generally want a profit of over $10. One of the reasons why is because Etsy does take out a 6.5% transaction fee. You also have a potential processing fee, and all of those fees can really add up and take a few dollars off of your profit. For me personally, for any sweatshirt that I create, I always like a profit of $15. So I will apply that as well, which is a profit margin of over 40% per sweatshirt. So at the very end, we will have all these store details. We can hide the product in store, which we don't want to do. The variant visibility, I keep on only show in-stock variants and hide any out-of-stock variants. Some people like to show the out-of-stock variants as sold out, but one of the problems with that is you have to go into Etsy and delete where it says sold out every single time something goes back in stock. So I personally just like to hide the out-of-stock variants. And then at the bottom, Printify will create a new shipping profile for you. So you're going to click on publish, and then we have our first listing that we created together on Etsy. This will take just a few moments to publish. Okay, so now we are published. For some reason, it was not having a fun time with me, and it finally published to my store. So we are going to go to our shop, and it usually takes a minute or two for the listing to show up. It'll show up like this little icon here. So while we are waiting for that, I wanted to show you one really neat feature with Everbee that I've used in the past. So as we can see, this is a best-selling type of sweatshirt. It has all the good SEO. I would never suggest copying SEO directly. So you can copy bits and pieces of this SEO, but you don't want to copy all of it. That's just a pro tip from me. But if you go to product analytics and click on this, so it will generate all of the tags that this listing is using, and we can copy all of these to clipboard. As you can see, Everbee shows how many times these tags are searched per month. Christmas gift is 6,000, coffee lover 600, dog lover sweatshirt 6, gifts for mom 4,000 plus, shirts for mom 296. So I'm just going to copy all of these to clipboard. Then if I go into that listing and I click into it, you'll see the photos aren't uploaded yet. So what I'm going to do, at least for this video, is I'm just going to copy and paste. Now, what I do want to say is after you hit enter, you want to make sure that none of these are trademarked words. So I've seen some people and heard of situations where people copy the tags and Starbucks is in the tags. I just want to say it is up to you as the Etsy seller to make sure these words aren't trademarked. These all look good to me, so we are just going to scroll past. Besides that, like I said, I would highly recommend watching that SEO video because I go over the basics of SEO and how to bring organic traffic to your Etsy and print on demand businesses through just utilizing SEO tips and tricks I go over in that video. So highly recommend watching that. Besides that, I'm going to go back to this tab and we're going to find some mock-up images to use. So I'm going to look up white Gildan 18,000 mock-up. Etsy is my favorite place to go for image mock-ups. They just have so many nice image mock-ups out there, and they are just so professional looking, and they really can get you sales over time. A good budget that I would recommend when you're starting out with mock-up images is at the very least $20 to spend to get some really high quality image mock-ups. Some people ask me, is a flat lay better than a lifestyle mock-up? Right now, I'm currently seeing a trend for lifestyle mock-up images. So if you were to get images like these, those would be really great for your store. I have seen that if you have this type of mock-up, then you have a flat lay. Those work for stores as well. But for me personally, I think a mock-up like this is really, really nice and can get you a lot of sales. So we're going to use this for our image mock-up placement today. So I'm going to purchase this. We will go back to Canva in just a moment here, and I'm going to show you how to place the design on your mockup so we can get that really high quality image mockup for your first Etsy listing. Alrighty guys, so when we are doing our mockups, what you can do with mockups is you can click on create a design here, and then you can click on edit photo. Then I'm just gonna bring over the mockup image I just downloaded. So it takes a moment just to load it. So now I'm going to click use in design. So this is going to create its own little canvas for us. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring over the design we just created. I'm just going to drag and drop it on my second window here. So now I will click that into our image. Alrighty, now that we have our design overlaid on the image mockup, of course, this is not our final piece. I want you to click on that design, and first of all, we're going to resize it. So if you click and drag the corner, we can take it down a smidge. And as you can see, this sweatshirt is slightly slanted. So we do want to rotate this just a little bit to match kind of the rotation of the sweatshirt mockup itself. I'm gonna bring this just a little bit to the side, and I'm going to bring it up just a touch. So now I'm pretty happy with this. This looks very like the image that we have for our mockup generator software on Printify. So if I go back to Printify and I click into this, I'm going to click into the mockup, and as you can see, this image is actually a little bit smaller. So I'm really happy I looked at that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make this just a little bit tinier. What's really important when you're placing your design on a mockup is that you are making sure it's as realistic as possible to how the finished product will look. So for us, we want to make it just a tiny bit tinier. And then I'm going to go back to Printify again. I think this is pretty accurate. I'm going to bring down the rotation just a smidge too. So as far as the sizing goes, I'm really happy with that. I think that's going to really work out and look realistic now. Now, the last step of this process is we need to edit the transparency to make it look a little bit more faded so it looks realistic on this mockup. When you are editing transparency, you go to the upper right hand corner with the little checkered faded area button. You'll click on that, and then transparency for t-shirts and sweatshirts can be as low as 70%. I generally keep it around 70 to 90%. 90 is the maximum I will go for image mockups when I overlay a design on it. I think if you go any higher than that, that can tell customers that this item may be screen printed. And these types of t-shirts and sweatshirts are actually not screen printed. Most print-on-demand providers use direct-to-garment printing. Direct-to-garment printing is where the ink is infused into the material of the sweatshirt or t-shirt, and that can cause a lack of color. So due to that lack of color, that is why we want to decrease our transparency so it looks realistic. I'm really happy with the 77%, and if I click off of this, this looks pretty realistic to me. I'm gonna bring this just to the side just a little touch, but besides that, I think that this looks realistic. It looks really high quality, and this is something, if I were a doodle mom, I think I would maybe buy. So besides that, I'm gonna go to share again. We're going to download, and what I like to do for these is I like to do JPG instead of PNG. PNG kind of goes up there in file size. I personally just like keeping JPGs. So I'm gonna download this, and then we're gonna go back to our listing and we're gonna upload that. So our next step of the process is we are going to adjust this thumbnail. I'm gonna bring this in quite a bit, and then I'm gonna save that. So generally the thumbnail is really, really important because that is what's going to show when people are scrolling on the Etsy search or in the related listing section. So that's why you want to increase the zoom quite a bit. I'm actually gonna increase it just a tiny bit more. I'm gonna save that, and that will show your customers as you're scrolling how an item looks like, and hopefully they'll read it, they'll like it, and they will buy it. So the next thing that you want in your photos videos is also a size and color chart. Size charts are really important, especially for any apparel that you sell. So it shows the customer what size is right for them. And then color charts also help in showing the customers what other colors there are and how those look like. So I have a shop brand kit down below where I have a bunch of templates on shop banners, on shop logos, on size and color charts. It's for $27. So you can purchase that today as well. That might help you in getting a size and color chart up on your Etsy listings. Besides that, I'm just going to save and publish this here, and I'm going to show you the shop banner that I also sell. So if I go to the Etsy store, so you'll find Your Brand Name Co. This is my test store, guys. A lot of people email me and say, hey, Heather, I found your shop and it looks fake. How do you have six figures and I looked at your shop and you don't even have a sale? I just want to say that this is my test shop. My real shop I do not share because I've had so many people copy my designs. They've copied my name. They've copied my brand completely. So I stopped sharing it for that reason. So guys, that's it for this training. Just so you know, you can get my shop brand kit down below. The banner that you see on the screen, I've created in that shop brand kit, and it is an editable Canva template. In the shop brand kit, I have training videos and tutorials on how you can edit this shop banner and make it your own. On top of that, there is shop logos, there are size and color charts, and just videos that can assist you in creating your own brand name and your own brand on Etsy. Besides that, the Print on Demand Academy 2.0 is releasing soon, and I do have some early access discounts in the links in the description below. If you do decide to join my Print on Demand Academy, I did give a little sneak peek of the Print on Demand Academy 2.0 in this video today, but I will say that was only 2 videos out of 8 videos for setup that I do in the Print on Demand Academy. I go over some more advanced trainings in the Print on Demand Academy itself, so I would highly recommend looking into that if you do want to take your Etsy and Print on Demand businesses to the next level. Besides that, at the very end of this, I do have a free webinar that's going to be running at the end of December and beginning of January called How to Earn Your First 10K with Etsy and Print on Demand. Check that out and sign up, save a seat for yourself in the links down below. Don't forget to get Printify Premium for 30 days free using code Heather30 in all caps, and stick around for that blooper reel because I struggled today since I've kind of been sick. See you guys in the next video here. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks with Etsy and Print on Demand. From 0 to multiple 6 figures in my Etsy and Print on Demand businesses. So I'm going to repeat that. Print on demand softwares and websites and companies. I'm going to repeat. That's why I have always repped for. With that being said, I'm going to stop jabbing on and we're going to get straight to it. So, that is not what I want. Or maybe the authenticator. So besides that, guys, that is how you set up over 10. It's really not as quickly as we can today, or not as quickly as we can. We can cut that part off by clicking and dragging and bringing in and out. Sorry, I'm going to repeat that. So one thing I did want to note is if you did, so I'm just going to start designing on, actually, I'm going to go back. It's an eyeballing type of at least resting on, or if you have. So I'm going to repeat that. And if we preview it, that can become more work for. And as you can see, Everbee shows how many times these tags are. So I'm going to go back to Canva and I'm going to go back. Alrighty, so now that we have, I can't, I'm so sick. They use direct to garment printing. I'm going to repeat that. But with that being said, these are very, I'm not going to say but, create your own type of brand. I'm going to repeat this. Oh my God, my brain's not working. I'm going to repeat this. We don't need to include my brain. My brain is killing me today. and your own identity on Etsy, or on that. I'm going to repeat that. The shop brand kit is made so that you can create your own brand on Etsy with shop banners, shop logos. I'm going to repeat that. Oh my God, my brain is not working.